Hello, everyone. Being here today is truly such an incredible opportunity for me. My name is Aditi Rao, a 6th grade student at Oberlin Magnet Middle School. And before I dive into my talk, let me tell you a little bit about myself. You may have seen me on CBS 17 discussing everything tech on their Technology Tuesday segment. I'm also a proud member of my school's Science Olympiad team, and I've competed in an international competition with my robotics team. I'm a proud member of my school's Model United Nations crew, discussing real-world problems one debate at a time. But I'm not just about STEM. I'm also an artist. I've received highest honors for my vocal performance from the North Carolina Music Teachers Association 2 years in a row. My digital sketchpad is filled with everything from portraits to Paris fashion runway looks, and my YouTube channel has accumulated over 700 subscribers in the past 2 months. So you're probably thinking, okay, Aditi, what's with all the bragging? But what if I told you that I navigated this journey with a unique perspective? What if I told you I'm legally blind? Yeah, I saw some reactions. You wouldn't think that a visually impaired person would be able to do all of this due to the bias that's built into society, right? So, now that you know a little bit about me, let's dive into a world where vision isn't just how you see, it's about how you adapt and how you conquer. Let's move closer to a society where everyone can thrive, including visually impaired people. So, now that you know a little bit about me, let's try to do a little experiment. Take a look at the quote on the screen and clap if you could read it. Not many people clapping for a room full of sighted people. So let's see the quote through a different lens. This quote states that the only thing worse than being blind is having sight, but no vision, by Helen Keller. This quote is so powerful because in essentials, it means that no matter your level of sight, it matters the vision or the impact that you want to make on the people, things, and world around you. So, let me take you through some highlights of my life. It all started about a week after I was born, when my parents were told that I was blind. But we wouldn't have been able to start this amazing journey alone without the incredible support of the NC Early Intervention Program on raising a VI child. While most kids use their vision to develop necessary motor skills, I had to use physiotherapy to achieve the same results. Thankfully, as I grew, I was able to adapt to the limited vision I had, from my very first baby steps to hiking state parks to trekking on glaciers. But unfortunately, not all families of visually impaired children have these opportunities to get these resources from the get-go. As I grew a little older, I started to go into my next set of challenges, elementary school. I am a dual reader, which means that I use large print and braille to get through my coursework on a daily basis. I use magnifiers to see the board and worksheets and books in front of me, and I use my cane and monocular for navigation. But after the pandemic, everything is submitted virtually. Students here know what I mean. Imagine having to do a math drag and drop assignment blindfolded. It's harder than it seems, I promise. Next is most kids' favorite part of the day, PE and recess. But while most kids were playing kickball or soccer, I was standing on the sidelines because I couldn't play. And you're probably thinking, okay, what's the big deal? You don't get to play at recess. But while only 4% of the sighted community are diagnosed with depression, 14% of the visually impaired community are diagnosed due to social disengagement faced in school settings. And while as this all was happening, I realized that I was very inclined to music and was inspired by people in the music industry, including Taylor Swift. Hardcore Swiftie in the house, y'all. So I started music lessons at the ripe old age of 5. From Western music to Indian classical, I was all in. But one of the challenges I had was memorizing different pieces. So my teacher helped me by showing them to me pictorially. For example, this is spicy and sweet, it's a holiday treat. Icing and cream, it's a cookie man dream. Flat and tan, that gingerbread man. I also enjoyed playing piano, but it seemed like the more complicated the pieces, the more challenges I had. One of these such challenges was that I couldn't read the sheet music from the distance that I was sitting. So, after 6 months of trial and error, me and my music teacher collectively came up with the solution of color-coded music notes. For example, C would be red, D would be orange, E would be yellow. These are just some of the ways that me and my visually impaired friends have to go through daily life and all these challenges and how we have to adapt to get through them. And as I grew into a young adult, I realized that I wanted to be independent like you all. You wouldn't think it's that hard, but it comes down to simple things like crossing the street. It's not that difficult, right? But you gotta take into consideration the fact that you can't see the street lights or traffic signals. It becomes a little harder then. Now you made it across the street with the help of a kind of stranger. And now you're on the way to the bus stop. And while you're following the path, you come across some unmarked railway tracks. And this is an actual video from our very own town of Cary, North Carolina, which solidifies the point that our towns aren't built for everyone. They're built for the sighted community. And I feel like every single one of us in here have the power to change this. Now, you made it to the bus stop, and you're about to get on a bus to go to the doctor's office. But you can't figure out where to go, where the bus is, when it leaves. And after stumbling around for 15 minutes, you make it to the front desk that points you on your way. And now you're on the bus and you're at the doctor's office. And just when you're about to congratulate yourself on making it this far, you realize that there's paperwork that you cannot see. These are just some of the many adversities that the visually impaired community faces on a day-to-day basis. So, the late poet Maya Angelou has a really inspirational quote that says, "When you know better, you do better." Now that we know some of the many adversities that the visually impaired community faces, let's see how we can individually and collectively make a difference. First is access to the early intervention program. We should create some form of the early intervention program available around the world for families of visually impaired toddlers to infants to toddlers, so that they have those resources from the offset. Next is inclusive education. We should have school systems conduct simple team building activities, such as assembling a PB&J sandwich blindfolded to encourage empathy from sighted students to their visually impaired peers. We should ensure that all assignments are screen reader friendly or have a large print or braille alternative. And this is actually one of the ways that every single one of y'all can have an impact on the visually impaired community. Because I think that, as we all know, the world is going into an age where everything is digital. So, and we all make digital media in this room, whether it's that TikTok dance that took you 2 hours to learn, or the Instagram post that you made on that cute coffee shop, or the paper that you posted for your office, or the website for your small business. All of these are examples of digital media. So I challenge you all to learn how you can make the media that you produce accessible to screen readers and implementing alternate texts into images and links. Next is public accessibility. We should implement speakers at intersections that tell you when to stop and go. And in Japan, they actually have these cool things called tenji blocks. And they're essentially grooved in the sidewalks that tell blind cane users where to go. And we actually have tenji blocks in America. However, ours aren't as helpful because of the fact that if you were to follow our tenji blocks, which are faced diagonally, you would be walking right into the middle of an intersection. And spoiler alert, that would not go down so well for you. Next is administrative accessibility. We should create a voiceover-friendly platform where you can fill out forms and have your medical and bank information stay safe. So now that we know some of these solutions, I want you to think of the torchbearers in your life. Who are the people that really made an impact, no matter how long you've known them? Because these people are my village, my community, the reason that I am here today. And I actually have some people in my community here today, some friends, some teachers. And to y'all, I thank you for allowing me to share my story and some of yours. So, as my talk comes to a conclusion, I want everyone to remember that accessibility isn't just about ramps and elevators. It's about opening your doors, hearts, and minds. Let's resolve to be a part of the solution, to get a vision, to have this vision for an equitable world where everyone can thrive. Let's share these ideas and change people's lives, because ideas can change everything. Thank you so much.